Hi guys. Hey, I'm Sonia. I'm a prospective adoptive parent and I'm an NRI living in the US. So if you don't know what NRI is, it's non-resident Indian. That means I still have my Indian citizenship and I'm in US on a work visa. I don't have a US citizenship, and I'm going to talk about the adoption process for NRI living in the US. So I have been trying to adopt from India, and in this journey I've learned a lot of stuff. That's why I wanted to put this video together to share all my experience and the information I've gathered so far with you guys, and hope it'll be helpful. So let's get started. I think you know already the type of adoptions, but I'm just going to go through this very quickly. You can categorize them broadly into two: domestic and inter-country adoption. So domestic adoption is when you want to adopt from US, a US born child. So it can be infant adoption, also adoption through foster care. I'm definitely going to talk about this because this could be one of the process NRIs could follow, but I'm going to keep this for the next video. For this video, I want to focus on the Hague Convention country adoption, and which rules and regulations basically make it almost impossible for NRIs to adopt from India. So given both US and India are part of Hague Treaty, you can only follow the Hague Convention inter-country adoption if you want to adopt from India. So if you don't know what Hague Convention is, it's actually an international treaty which is signed by many countries, and India and US are among those. The reason behind this convention was to ensure that the child, birth parent, as well as adoptive parents, the rights are well protected. The process is followed. Basically, there are structures and rules in place. It's ethical, and the child is protected. When I say child is protected, they want to make sure that the child is brought into a safe family, and if something goes wrong, the child can be extracted and also brought back to their home country. So for US and India, the structure and rules are very well laid out very clearly by both CARA as well as USCIS. So by both the Indian as well as US authorities, and we're going to talk about it and why those rules and regulations make it almost impossible for us also to adopt from India. So US versus CARA, Hague main eligibility criteria. As per US, one of the parent has to be US citizen, and which definitely the NRI don't fulfill this criteria. As per CARA, you are eligible to apply. There are other eligibility criteria as well, which I'm not going to talk about, but you can find it on CARA's website, and I can show you in my next video where. But the main, under Hague eligibility criteria, the main thing is NRIs are considered at par with Indians, which is definitely a good thing. And also it would be better if one of you is Indian citizen. So keep that in mind. For US, one of you has to be US citizen to start the process. And for India, it would be better if one of you is Indian citizen. So if you guys are in the process of getting your US citizenship, one of you might be better if you hold back and keep your green card, but don't get the US citizenship. So you still have your Indian citizenship, but the other partner has to have a US citizenship so you can initiate the process. Why it is better to have the Indian citizenship is that you will have a shorter wait time, because then your match will be faster and compared to the non-US citizens. So this is definitely an important information to keep in mind if you guys are in the process of getting your US citizenship and are looking to adopt from India. So on this page, I wanted to talk about which authorities are involved both on the Indian as well as on the US side in terms of adoption and what role they play. So on the Indian side, it's CARA, Central Adoption Resource Authority, and on the US side, it's AFA and USCIS. So AFA is a foreign adoption agency. AFA is the first authority you will work with, they will do your home study and then they will register you with CARA. So you can't register yourself with CARA without AFA. This is also a requirement of CARA. If you go and look on their website, it's clearly stated you need to start with an AFA. So, and once you have applied to CARA, after the process is completed and the child has to be migrated to US, USCIS plays a very important role in ensuring the child is migrated to USA. And post-adoption also, AFA has to send the reports back to CARA to ensure or kind of regulate that the child is integrated into a family and the family is safe for the child. So all three authorities play a very important role pre and post adoption, and they're going to work very closely with the prospective adoptive parent throughout the process. And this is exactly what I've also kind of explained in a little bit more detail. AFA, CARA, and USCIS and the role they play in the whole process. So there are around 17 AFAs in US, and you can find their information on this webpage. So you can download the information about their phone numbers and emails. And in my next video, I'm also going to show you in detail exactly where to look for this. So all these international foreign adoption agencies have an India international program. For CARA, you have to work with CARA. You want to do domestic or international adoption, you just can't go to an orphanage. You have to start or initiate the process by registering yourself with CARA. That you can do only with AFA. And USCIS plays a very important role in the immigration of the child through adoption. And we are going to look into more details on the regulations or the process laid out by USCIS. And where is the catch-22, why NRI cannot actually adopt. So as per CARA, as I mentioned before, CARA says, this is the text I took from their website. So as per CARA, it's published that non-resident Indian prospective adoptive parents shall be treated at par with Indians in terms of their priority for adoption. So which is a very good thing. And that's why you should keep your Indian citizenship if you can. So as per CARA, you can just approach AFA and you need to then do your home study. And after your home study is done, you register with CARA and you can start the process. Now, on USCIS, also the guidelines are very clearly published. And I will show you in the next video where to look for this information. So they say that you should go to an adoption agency, get your home study, apply for I-800, then you submit it to CARA. CARA will approve your application and then you're in line to be matched with the child, which we call referral. So this wait time is shorter for NRIs or people who have Indian citizenship. So once you have that, you gain the legal custody of the child, you travel to India, you will get the passport and the visa of the child and bring them to US. And then after that, AFA will do post-adoption studies and send the reports back to CARA. And this is where the process becomes a little bit tricky for the non-US citizen. So if you're non-US citizen, you actually cannot apply for I-800, which is the very first process for as per Hague Convention in US. So Form I-800 is that eventually you should be able to get a visa or passport for the child and the child can be migrated back to US, or eventually you can get the citizenship, US citizenship for the child. So if you're not US citizen, you cannot apply for I-800, and that's why you will not be able to bring the child back home. And because you're not able to bring the child here, AFAs are not able to do the post-adoption studies, which means that they are actually not completing the adoption process and they can lose their license over it, and that's why they will not be ready to work with you. So this is the main reason why it is difficult or almost impossible for non-US citizens to adopt from India under Hague Convention. So as per CARA, you can apply, and CARA was the first authority I reached out to when I started the adoption process. And I even visited CARA because I come from Delhi. It was much easier for me to just go there in person and talk to the social workers there, and they said I can start the application process. What they forgot to mention was about this Article 517 of Hague Convention. And once I came back, I contacted all the AFAs, and one by one everyone started saying no, that they won't take my case. And the reason they told me was post-adoption. So post-adoption means is the migration part and also the post-adoption studies which AFA have to do. So once you have, let's say the child is matched with you, you have a referral, you have to travel to India, and then CARA has to release the custody of the child to you. At this point, CARA requires a no objection certificate from the receiving country, and in this case, the receiving country is US. Even on US side, it's very well published that because USA follows this Inter-Country Adoption Act of 2000. They will basically issue a letter, Article 517 letter, and then this will inform the Foreign Central Authority that US competent authorities have determined the PAPs are eligible and suited to adopt. So US has to give this letter to CARA in order to for you to gain the legal custody of the child. And because to start with, you can't start the Hague Convention, but even if you do by another process, I'll show you what, you won't get this Article 517. So when you discuss with CARA your case, definitely ask them more about not only initiating the process, but also post-adoption, what it looks like, or during the process, what it looks like, what kind of documentation they require from USA. This is where I think it also gets messy, because that's why all the AFA says they won't work with you, because AFA has to, as I said before, AFA has to not only work with you pre-adoption, but also post-adoption. Post-adoption, they have to send a report, a progress report of the child for 2 years, from the date of arrival of the adopted child in the receiving country. And because you will not be able to migrate the child to US, AFA is not able to basically complete the adoption process. They cannot send the adoption reports back to CARA, and they can lose their license over it, as I mentioned. So that's why AFA, to start with, don't want to work with you. I've heard from both USCIS, CARA, as well as a few AFAs also mentioned that both US authorities as well as CARA are working on finding a better solution for NRIs. They have been working on it for 3 years, and we all know how process the red tapes are, and sometimes the process can take longer, but I'm glad that at least they are working towards it, and hopefully they will be able to find a process which is clear to AFA of what to do under this situation if the child is not migrated, if X or Y, if maybe there is another process which NRIs can follow. And but it's not clear yet, and that's why AFA will not be willing to work with you. So if you look at this, basically the whole communication breaks down because of the process which is under Hague, and that's why these rules make it almost impossible for people like us to adopt from India. Well, I actually did start a group. It's a very small group, and it's very specifically talking about the issues which NRIs or non-US citizens have when they want to adopt from India. Please do join the group. Let me know what you think, and I'll be happy to share more information with you. I would love to create more content. Tell me what you're interested to learn about India, and I will definitely try my best to put it together. So hope we can together find a solution, and we can maybe pursue both authorities to fasten the process for us, so that eventually we are able to, or there is a process we can follow to adopt from India. Thank you so much again, guys, and look forward to meeting you again. Bye.